It's another TV pilot review. Did it make you want to come back for more? This is Palm Royale. It's currently available on Apple Plus, and it does have audio description. This is the obligatory point where I ask you for that subscribe. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I would love to have more. So click it. That's pretty simple. That's what that is. So this series has Kristen Wiig, Ricky Martin, Laura Dern, Josh Lucas, Allison Janney, Julia Duffy, and Carol Burnett among sort of the more recognizable cast members. And it is set in 1969, and we have a young woman who, as she says, when she moves to Palm Beach at first you think you're the oldest and the richest, and it turns out you're the youngest and the poorest. Whatever that means, because I don't get the age thing. But anyway, she moves into Palm Beach and wants to become part of high society. And there's a club called the Palm Royale. She really wants to become a member, but it's incredibly exclusive. It's very high society. It's very, very high society. So she climbs the wall to get in. And yeah. So that was a hilarious scene. And when she's in there, she sees sort of like the women of the area who are the high society queens, of which are Dern and Jenny and Duffy, and they've all done their own things in life and achieved, and now they're looking to I don't know, continue to be rich and affluent. I don't know. Anyway, so obviously this doesn't work out for her. She's caught, and so the series is going to be about her trying to figure out how to achieve being accepted into high society, and more importantly, getting a membership into the Palm Royale. It's being billed as a limited series, which doesn't really mean much anymore because we're getting like a third season of Big Little Lies, a second season of Nine Perfect Strangers, a second season of Beef, third season of The White Lotus. What even is limited at this point? Is why do we have it? Does it exist? Is it a thing? So yeah, I don't really know. Uh, kill the category, expand the amount of nominees in the others. That's what I would say at this point, because Hollywood is breaking you know, they're breaking the limited series category. So anyway, it's moving on. It's funny. Kristen Wiig's funny in this. I do want more from Carol Burnett's character, just because I felt the same thing about Better Call Saul, which is funny because it was like at the end of the show she pops up and I'm like, oh, Carol Burnett. They got Carol Burnett. They don't do anything with her. I mean, let's be honest, they really didn't do anything with Carol Burnett. That's one of the reasons she didn't get an Emmy nomination, because that's a setup. It's so hard. You have to work to not get Carol Burnett an Emmy nomination, and they didn't give it to her. You know, they didn't either give her one great scene so she could be nominated for guest star, and give her one episode where she just comes in and slays, or don't cast her if you don't have a role for her. If you're just gonna like let her languish in the show, which is what she kind of does in the first episode, don't waste your time. She's Carol Burnett. There's an award named after her that people win, that somebody like Kristen Wiig might win one day, and then she'll go on to her career, and then she'll be Carol's age, and she'll just be sitting here going, "Why am I in this? What role is this?" It's one of the reasons I got excited about Palm Royale to begin with, was actually I saw the casting announcement that Carol Burnett was doing the show, and I was like, oh my god, Kristen Wiig and Carol Burnett together in a comedy at Apple? What the hell? That's amazing. I want to see that show. That show sounds amazing. And then they fleshed it out with all the other characters and actors, and now that I've seen it, I'm like, well, Carol Burnett's barely in. She's barely in this damn thing. But I don't know, it could be fun. She's obviously going to do some sort of like Katie Heron thing and take out a Regina George and move her way into high society, or not, and fail miserably and maybe murder everybody. One of those two things is going to happen in Palm Royale by the end. Um, every time I say the word Royale, I always think of Royale with cheese from Pulp Fiction. So, yes, this is fine. Audio description wise, um, it's it's I I see this debate. I'm seeing this debate online right now. Just to tangent away. Subscribe for tangents. There's a conversation going on in a blind community about audio description that I am a part of, about Barbie and its audio description. And some people are lamenting various. I have a completely different complaint about Barbie's track, but lamenting the audio description in that, and how they needed all the Barbie outfits, and how every Barbie and Ken should have been described differently. I think we have to be realistic in what it is we're looking for from audio description tracks, and I always try to be. I got into a debate with somebody over my thoughts on the film Upgraded, which I felt like had really odd audio description, because there were some times where it would come in and it would give really good audio description, then other times it just kind of vanished. And I do believe that if there's dead air, that you should put something in there, audio description wise, because there's likely something we're missing. Somebody's wearing something, somebody has a facial expression, there's some set that you could be describing, scenery, something. Because being somebody who had sight and does not now, I know all of the things that we're missing. And camera angles, shots, everything that you're missing. There is something to be described. So if you can insert words, you should. And with this, I felt like they did that. The problem here is that if people are going to look at this and say, oh, I didn't like the audio description, what you're missing out on the fact is that Kristen Wiig actually does a heavy amount of narration within the show. So not only do you have the scenes in which the people are talking and it takes place, but she also is narrating from her perspective the show. She's like telling the story. So we have to allow for time for that. And that time takes up a lot of the time in which we would have audio description, where we would get transitions, where it would let us know that we've moved somewhere, where maybe it would tell us more about a location or something, or somebody walking up to somebody else, but Kristen Wiig is talking on top of it, so they can't. Yeah, it's just one of those shows. So it's just like a talking head documentary. I want more from those. I want them to always try to give me names, because I've watched some where I'm like, I don't even know who's talking or why they should be. And that's a problem, you know? That's a fundamental problem with the thing, is if I don't even understand why your opinion matters, then I can't embrace it, because you could just be Joe Blow off the street. So if I never get to know who you are, because for sighted people, a lot of times it pops up at the bottom of the screen and it'll say, John Stark, movie extraordinaire. Movie critic extraordinaire. But for blind audiences and a talking head documentary that's poorly edited, it'll just blaze through people, and you'll just bounce from talking to talk to talk to talk to talk to talk. And the narrator can't interject anywhere. So, yeah. So it's every project is different, and I know somebody made a comment in that thing about how, we can't use the difficulty of a project to excuse. And it's like, you kind of can, because there's only a limited amount of air to speak in. I don't want them talking on top of dialogue. I've experienced that before. It's awful. I've seen that before. It sounds terrible. I've seen a couple robotically described films, and some not, where it's not fun, where you trample the dialogue. And I remember Jolt. Just gonna go ahead and clear that throat. With Kate Beckinsale, she narrates the film in addition to being in the film. And the AI audio description cared not, and just talked on top of her while she was narrating the film. It was maddening. It's like hearing two people talking at the same time, and you're like, what is happening? Who okayed this? Like, it's no, it's not a fun experience. So I don't care what audio description you think you're missing, you do not want it on top of dialogue. It sounds terrible. So we can find other ways of doing it. I've pitched in other reviews before, I've talked about having like like an audio diary thing if we were able to get. It's hard enough because we can't even get audio description on all of these titles, and the industry keeps fighting us and coming up with reasons as to why they can't provide audio description, why they don't want to provide audio description. They don't share audio description. It doesn't travel. I mean, there's so many basic problems, but in a dream world, if I became president of the United States and could just sign into legislation something amazingly right now, I would fix that. And then I would also have like a almost like we create special features because the digital world allows for that. You go onto Netflix and you can click on trailers and more, right? Well, on the in more section, you could have an audio guide that we could actually listen to and get. We could get sort of a pre update on these are the characters, these are some major locations that you'll see, and you can really get in depth with a lot of the major locations. And that way in the film, you can talk about sort of how these characters move, where they're moving to. You could bring up a character who wasn't big enough to mention in the thing, who was only in for like one scene. You could bring up little locations and stuff that we don't go back to multiple times. But you could take a few minutes and actually describe sort of like the theme and the main look of the film and all that kind of stuff. So that way, when we get to the actual audio description, we could get actually more detail because we're not constantly being introduced to people. It's not all just basic introductions and basic sort of like, this is where we are now, you know. That's possible, but we don't live in that world. I live in a world right now where I still review films that don't have audio description because I'm trying to get people to understand why we need it. So yeah, it's a dream world. But I think Palm Royale's audio description is fine for what it can be. I think they maximize their use of the available time rather well. As a pilot, I think it's okay. I think it was funny in some places. It's a limited series, so it doesn't have to necessarily hook me for that long of a period of time. It has enough A-list actors in it that I would watch naturally for a couple episodes. This has easily 5 episodes in it with this cast. So I'd be halfway through the show anyway. The show would have to be really bad for me to not finish it. So, yeah. Anyway, it's it's a fun pilot, and Kristen Wiig is good in it, and it does feel like it's centered around her. And I'm sure that the future those episodes will help to shape the other characters. Um, but it's I've seen stronger pilots. So again, this goes back to what I always talk about in these pilot reviews, which is we live in a world where everything gets straight to series orders now. They don't have to create a pilot. They create the whole thing. So nobody's thinking about that first episode, and you may not get more than that. That's why I started doing these again, is to talk about that, because you are never guaranteed more than one episode. You're not even really guaranteed the person's going to finish the episode. So you need to hook people right away with however you can, doing whatever you can. I think Palm Royale does that mostly for its audience, although the IMDb score on this is it's in the sixes. So I don't know that many people love this show. Um, anyway, I think it's fine, and I'm hoping it gets better, and I'm hoping they do something with Carol Burnett, and actually really with the rest of the cast too. I'm hoping that as the show progresses, we get to see more out of Josh Lucas and Ricky Martin and Allison Janney, Laura Dern, Julia Duffy, Kaya Gerber, everybody else that's in the cast. So right now I'm going to give Palm Royale season 1 episode 1 a B. I thought it was a solid start, but there are stronger shows and stronger pilots. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Website, MacMovieGuy.com. X-Threads, Instagram, MacMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to theada.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. I will see you guys on the other side.